When I look at what the Charlotte Hornets have done since drafting LaMelo Ball, I try to remind myself that it's only been a few years and to not be too hard on them. But for some reason I still can't help but to be a tad bit frustrated. Don't get me wrong, to be fair, they've made some decent moves, but at the same time they have also made a bunch of mediocre ones. This has led me to question the overall direction that this team is headed. Obviously, the Miles Bridges situation simply doesn't help at all, as that was bad all around. With Miles Bridges, I'm actually interested to see what happens and if he has any future in the NBA. My initial guess would be no, but really nothing surprises me anymore. Now, it's really early in Melo's career, so when it comes to all of this stuff, I really don't want to panic too much. But at the same time, there are some things that I really just can't ignore. I mean, how do you want me to feel when the GM of the Hornets is out here calling Gordon Hayward the Hornets' best player? If you don't believe me, just check out this quote from Mitch Kupchak. When it comes to the Hornets, I think that we're a little bit ahead of the schedule from what I would have imagined a year ago. I don't think we're drastically ahead of schedule or anything like that. We're still a young team. Unfortunately, our best player the last 2 years has missed a lot of time. When I first read this, I was like, wait, how much time has LaMelo missed? Has he had like some really bad injury that I missed or something? And then I continued the quote and I saw the part that stated that he was talking about Gordon Hayward. He said we're not really going to advance without Gordon, so it's important that he gets back, and when he gets back, he works his way back into the lineup and gets his feel and confidence back. This reminds me of when Jeannie Buss called Russell Westbrook the Lakers' best player. That simply isn't true. As fine of a player as Gordon Hayward has been throughout his career and with the Charlotte Hornets, call me wild, but for whatever reason, I just don't think that he's better than LaMelo Ball. Guys, in the comments below, let me know what you think of this quote from Mitch. Also, let me know what you think of the Charlotte Hornets and their future. Do you think that it's too early to start worrying about the direction of this team? Overall, do you like what they've been able to do? And more importantly, let me know what you think Melo's stat line is going to look like for this upcoming season, because I'm seriously considering taking him top 8 in fantasy basketball. Hey, in the comments below, let me know if that's a bad pick. I think that he's about to go off. Now guys, this video, we have a lot to discuss pertaining to the Charlotte Hornets and LaMelo Ball. But before we go any further, let's get a word from our sponsor. I want to give a huge shout out to Beard Club for sponsoring today's content. Beard Club delivers quality hardware and consumables that'll help you get a better, thicker, and fuller looking beard. One thing that I absolutely love about Beard Club is their beard quiz. What this beard quiz does is actually remarkable. It gives Beard Club all of the information that they need to personally recommend a grooming kit that's tailored to your needs. Now, the highlight of their grooming kit is the PT45 trimmer. This thing is powerful yet graceful at the same time. It's also super sturdy, and the battery life comes in clutch, just like our guy James Harden, who just so happens to be an investor in this company. We have all seen James Harden's beard. We know that this guy is not investing in a product that's not getting him right. Another massive perk of going with the Beard Club is that they have this awesome growth kit. This kit features sprays to strengthen and moisturize your beard hair, oils that prime follicles for beard growth, and a derma roller that rejuvenates dormant hair follicles. Guys, no matter what type of beard that you have, Beard Club has the perfect kit to fit your needs. Now, of course, I've got a link for you guys. Go to beardclub.com/DCoop and use code DCoop for 20% off of your first order. I want to give a major shout out to Beard Club again for supporting our channel and our patches. Now, before I continue, I want to give a major shout out to Dennis Smith Jr. and LiAngelo Ball. It's always amazing when you see people who have been counted out get rewarded for their work. Let's just hope that both of these guys are able to take advantage of their current situation. Would anybody in the comments want a Dennis Smith Jr. video or a LiAngelo Ball video? Just let me know. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get back to the Hornets discourse. This past offseason, the Charlotte Hornets would fire head coach James Borrego, and in return, they would hire Steve Clifford. Now, before we move past this, hiring Steve Clifford again is definitely a choice that I'm interested to see play out. Maybe a defensive-minded hire isn't the worst hire in the world for this franchise. Maybe he at least gets Melo to lock in on the defensive side of the ball, if nothing else. Look guys, I'm just trying to find the positives here. To get back to the firing of James Borrego would surprise some people and others not so much. I for one wasn't very shocked because it really did seem as if the team had reached its ceiling under him. Though they were getting better, losing in the play-in tournament in back-to-back years really just is not a good look. As a matter of fact, this team didn't just lose in the play-in tournament in back-to-back years, they were blown out. The roster wasn't really great, so it's hard to be too mad at the losses, but at the very least, you'd like your playing games to at least be competitive. It wasn't like these guys were going up against the 95-96 Bulls or anything like that. They were going up against Trae Young and Domantas Sabonis, who are both really good, but at the end of the day, their rosters were not complete. Though I will say I do believe that the Hawks were a lot better than their record showcased. Anyways, that's besides the point. Aside from the putrid play-in losses to the Pacers and Hawks, it was pretty clear that with Borrego, he had started to lose the locker room at some point, or at least parts of it. Last season, there was one instance where you could see Bouknight confront Borrego on the bench, and then have to be removed from the scene. When I saw this, I immediately thought, what could he have said to make him that mad? Under Borrego, there would also be passive-aggressive complaining about roles. And then there was that whole LaMelo thing where he simply didn't like the way that the team was being operated at times.
And he thinks an area of development for you is controlling the game, controlling the action in the fourth quarter. Do you feel the same way? I mean, do you think that's kind of a next step for you?
Nah, I feel like I just got to be in there longer for the fourth quarter, you feel me? I feel like I came in a little late of the game. Now I feel like we can just let the squad go and how it's going.
I feel like Borrego got stronger on some Dragon Ball Z type of stuff. Every time he put a young player in the doghouse or benched somebody that was having a good game. When you're a player coach and you start to lose the locker room, that's not a good thing. Now, I don't want this video to seem like I'm flat out hating on Borrego because I really do believe that he was a solid coach that accomplished some good things in Charlotte. I know that there are going to be some Melo fans that disagree with me, but I just ask that you hear me out. Coach Borrego helped to lead the Charlotte Hornets to their highest offensive rating in history. Now, the sad thing is that while producing this exciting up-tempo offense that produced highlight after highlight, the defense would often leave a lot to be desired. Last season, the Charlotte Hornets would rank in the bottom 10 for defensive rating. But of course, this wouldn't be the end of the world. After all, this was a team that was incredibly young with questionable basketball IQ and ultimately a questionable roster. Guys, every time I think of the Charlotte Hornets roster last year, I think of how valuable a guy like Udonis Haslem would have been for them. Seriously, at times I feel like this roster could have used 10 of him. Now maybe Udonis wouldn't be the ideal vet for this team exactly, but I'm sure you guys see where I'm coming from. Now as I go back and check out this Hornets roster from last season, it becomes abundantly clear to me that things could have been a whole lot worse and maybe Borrego was not that bad. When I look at this roster, I really don't see too many defensive players. Perhaps that's why the Hornets opted to draft potential lob threat and defensive anchor Mark Williams this offseason. NBADraft.net compares him to guys like Eric Dampier or Clint Capella. Speaking of Clint, if he were available, I don't think that he'd be a bad target for the Hornets. They could get a guy like him or Miles Turner, who's currently on the block, and let Mark develop at his own pace. I believe that guys like this could do a lot of good for this Hornets roster. As a matter of fact, Melo has actually went on record himself and expressed his desire for a big that's able to clog the paint and grab some boards. To quote LaMelo, "I just feel like we're a big away. One that can clog up the whole paint, rebound, put the ball in my hands and let me rock. That's how I be feeling, and when we get that, we're going to be straight." Personally, I've always felt that the simplest solution to masking bad perimeter defenders is to get an anchor down low. Having a guy like this can change the way your entire defense operates. If you guys couldn't tell, I really like Mark Williams for that reason alone. And I mean, how could you not like Mark Williams? This guy comes into the NBA with a standing reach of 9'9". That's literally 2 inches higher than Rudy Gobert's. Now look, I know this standing reach isn't everything. There are some guys with amazing standing reaches that are not good NBA players. That being said, I do believe that it is a good building block. Now, as much as I like Mark Williams, Duran definitely looks like a monster to me also. I'm actually a little disappointed that they didn't get more back for what was the 13th overall pick. Duran was a lottery pick. What did the Hornets essentially get back for him? Well, they got back a 2025 first round pick that belonged to the Bucks and only a handful of seconds. Now, while we're on the topic of trades, when it comes to trades or trade targets, let me know what moves you guys would like to see this team make in the comments below. Apparently, the Hornets have been paying close attention to the trade market. I mean, the rumors surrounding this team have been all over the place. I saw one rumor that said that they were interested in sending Rozier to LA in what would have been a 4-team deal. I saw another rumor that said that they were trying to acquire Donovan Mitchell. And I've also seen some rumors that have stated that Kelly Oubre might be on the move. With the Hornets, I'm not sure that there's an easy fix, but as I said earlier, things could definitely be worse. The Hornets have talent, they just need to develop it, and also get more pieces that fit. Building around LaMelo Ball should not be hard. This is a guy going into their third year who was just an all-star that averaged 20.1 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 7.6 assists while shooting nearly 40% from 3. Getting a guy like LaMelo is the hardest part to any rebuild. When you have a guy like this, anything is possible, especially if you really let them loose and let them find themselves. To quote Melo, when they really put the keys in my hand, I feel like it's going to be a whole new situation. But until then, I'm going to keep doing what I need to do. Just try to get these wins. I ain't gonna lie, every game I feel like I can do more than what I'm doing. It's just about reading the whole game and reading the whole situation, and everybody being on the same page, the consistency part. Once all that clears, I feel like we'll be straight. Guys, could you imagine LaMelo Ball in a D'Antoni peak Harden style 5-out offense? I think that would be devastating. Nobody can stay in front of him, he's smooth around the basket, and he's already one of the best passers in the game. Guys, when it comes to LaMelo, the sky is really the limit. We just have to hope that the Hornets get things right. As dumb as this sounds, if the Hornets aren't good, one of my biggest fears for them is just being too good for a bad pick. You know what though, that's a topic for another video. Guys, let me know what you think of everything down in the comments below. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.